doorbell at Jimmy's house. Now, when you come to my house, my doorbell sounds like this.
Wow, everything seems to be working today. What a novel.
Concept.
I was going to say surprise, but then I said concept sounds better, but surprise is what it is. Just before, a couple minutes ago, Glenn said, once the show starts, you get the delay. No delay. It's awesome. And here's the thing, to everybody who might have heard the fiasco last week, whatever was anything live? It was just me talking to myself. We didn't change anything. Every setting here is exactly the same as it was last week, and all of a sudden it's working. And yes, I restarted everything last week. I restarted everything this week. Just like every time. I have no clue what that was about.
But there's one big difference.
What?
You're not trying to go through OBS and go on Twitch.
Yeah, to all the Twitch people that aren't listening, we're not on Twitch today, so you're going to have to listen to us on Spreaker because Twitch was causing some of the problems. Yeah, Spreaker's working right now for us. I'm not saying Twitch doesn't work. I'm just saying I don't have the knowledge to make it work at this precise time, and I'm not going to make a whole show suffer because I'm trying to add a platform. We're thinking about some things for Twitch. Or maybe just dumping Twitch altogether. I don't know. Stay tuned and find out.
We'll be consulting with the Vatican.
Yeah. So yeah, I was on Instagram looking around, making stupid posts or whatever I do on there. And I see Jeremy Hammond has an account, or someone has an account running it for him. But it's nice. He's free. He's taking pictures from rooftops of places he used to listen to punk bands at and stuff, like all kinds of stuff. So freedom's good. He seems to be enjoying himself. Unlike some other people who were, people I looked up to that got out or dealt with some stuff and turned fascist or something. He doesn't seem to be doing that, which I was worried about, and I didn't think he would. I just was like hoping, because I didn't think the other one would either. And I think Chelsea Manning will be chilling with Nazis, but it happened. So yeah, he still looks anti-fascist as fuck, and I love it, and I love to see him free. And he's taking pictures with him and his brother and different people, and making video games about killing Trump Nazis or something. So it seems awesome.
Well, as far as Jeremy sticking to what he always said and what he said in his statement to the court at his sentencing, I'm not surprised that he's sticking to that.
I'm not surprised. I just was surprised other people didn't, and that hurt me. So I'm always skeptical now of everyone.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know. I guess the difference is I was always confident that Jeremy Hammond would be 9,000% what he claimed to be. The other people, I never really thought that. So...
Yeah, in my life, I've seen these OGs. It's like leaders among gangsters who sell out and snitch out all their homies they did the same thing with to get less time. So I don't put it above anybody. Because some of them cats out there said, nah, I never snitch. And yep, they snitched.
Yeah, there's a difference between...
I wasn't comparing activism to gangbang. I was just
No.
selling out. That was all.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a big difference between talking the martyr game and actually doing it. Big difference.
Yeah. Not everybody
Big
in that
difference.
situation could say that. There's people that are straight up feds in that situation.
Which is, even worse.
4-letter curse word. His name is a 4-letter curse word. But yeah, I'm just glad he's out, man. It's like really makes me happy to see those pictures.
Yeah.
And just read the things. I have it on the little bell. I have a few people on there on Instagram where you get the notifications. He's one of them. So yeah, I just thought we'd start off with good news for once.
Yeah,
now that we're done with the good news.
Well, I'd say Hammond is on that very short list of mine. The guests I could never have. There we go. He's on that list for sure.
Glenn, why would you say that? I just don't understand what that means. He wouldn't come on your show because he was in prison.
Yeah, I know, but now he's out and I'm done.
And now you're gonna revamp the whole. Stop laughing. It's gonna be called the View Up Here Special Edition. It's just 10 more episodes, Glenn.
No,
you're not signing that contract.
No, that's not happening. No, sorry.
There's a Boy George song that comes to mind right now.
That's too bad.
Do you really want to hurt me? Do you really want to make me cry?
I think it's a little late.
I'm going to get off you before you just hang up and say show's over.
No, it's just too late, man. It's too long. Days have gone by. Besides, I can be proud of the shows that I did that supported Jeremy Hammond.
Oh, yeah.
And let's not forget, probably the most infamous show I ever did, a lot of the content came from Jeremy Hammond while he was in prison.
Yeah.
So that nobody else got that, I'll tell you that. So I do have an exclusive with Jeremy.
There you go. Yeah, it just makes me happy to see him out finally. Like, he didn't do anything wrong. Like, honestly, let's be honest. He went to prison for nothing. He was snitched on. I mean, who cares? What he did had to be done. Somebody had to do it. And like he said, they're lucky he didn't do more. Because he would have if he could have. And that still has to be done on different levels now, different things. Somebody's going to end up doing these things. So, look at this. Bad news. Let's start with the worst. Well, not the worst, but pretty bad. To all the people who were cheering that we finally have justice, all the Pelosi's and everyone, Derek Chauvin has been convicted. Not sentenced, just convicted. Finally, justice. Everybody's got justice now. Well, in North Carolina, District Attorney Andrew Womble will not charge any of the pigs that murdered Andrew Brown Jr. I switched it up a little. That's not what it said. He says the murders were justified. No criminal charges will be filed. Oh, look at this. Also, no body cam footage will be released. I guess they want us to take their word for it, right? How are you going to acquit these cops that murdered somebody unarmed and then, or not even acquit them, just don't charge them? You know what I mean? Justified murders. And then you're not even going to show the people that they're justified. You're going to hide the footage that proves that they're justified, allegedly, right?
Well, this just shows the ability to completely abuse the system, because what this one move does from one state attorney, basically, is all that asshole is, a state attorney. One decision by him gives the legal means for them to basically take it all and put it in a box and put it in a room, and that's it. That's what's really, really wrong. The killing is wrong. The pretense is wrong. The level of force is wrong. Everything's wrong. But it's nothing new, unfortunately. But
yeah, but a lot of people in this country just assumed that since that stupid pig that killed George Floyd was convicted, everything is gravy now. Everybody gonna get, their rights aren't gonna be violated. It doesn't stop, man. I told you all. You heard us right here on this show, both of us talking about this. Doesn't change anything. And still, he hasn't been convicted. They're going to give him as minimum as they can give him. You know that, right?
Well, I mean, there is no silver bullet for anything, especially when the system doesn't want one. So anybody who's deluded to think that one decision in one state is going to change the United States, where have you been? That ain't how shit works.
No, and in a lot of cities around this stupid country, you got these awesome people that, like, we need to, the same people that wanted to defund the police, a lot of them, or abolish the police when they really meant defund the police, a lot of them. I mean abolish. But a lot of those people now want to reform the police, defund / reform. And in that reform, they want to give the cops a crap load more millions of dollars for quote unquote training.
Well, this is just...
I'm going to bring this full circle to the next topic I'm going to bring up randomly in a minute. Because I just thought of something crazy, how this connects. Let me just say this, because I know we're going to have to talk about Palestine sometime today, because it's the biggest thing going on. But this was just current news. But a lot of U.S. police, LAPD included, train with IDF in Israel to treat us like Palestinians when they come back here. To treat us like Israelis treat Palestinians, not like Palestinians should be treated bad. So they learn these brutal wartime, apartheid, genocidal tactics, and they come over here and use them on us. And our stupid government gives them military gear to be even more brutal. Fuck this bullshit.
Well, what this whole thing about the reform, quote unquote, I mean, before on this show, I've said what reform actually means. It means nothing.
Yep.
It means change the letterhead. It means change the cash flow and rebrand. That's what reform is. Nothing else. And, that's all they're talking about here. But this thing about training, this is trying to create a new gravy train. This is, don't forget, you've had Betsy DeVos as the Secretary of Education for 4 years now. So, you're kind of across the Rubicon, so to speak. So, education now, under any pretense, is an opportunity for profit in the United States. And not only do you get the opportunity to profit, it seems you get almost unlimited potential to decide whose money you're going to take. So if the government starts backing stuff like this to selected, who's going to retrain these police? Think Eric Prince might show up somewhere? Come on. Get fucking serious. This is the same old song and dance. To take your money to oppress you.
I don't think we really talked about this too much, but they showed on They've had videos out of this dude that goes around training police all across the nation. He does use of force training. And basically he goes out and gives these big speeches and makes all this crap load of money because he's the main guy they hire for this stuff. And of course he's white, and he goes out, I would wager a white supremacist. He goes out and talks to him about how great killing is. How they'll never feel that good is when they kill somebody, and it's okay, and they'll go home to their wives and have the best sex they ever had after killing, and he just makes it sound like it's the best thing. I don't know if you've seen those videos, Glenn, but they're pretty trippy. And there's all these pigs just sitting in there with their little military fatigues and, they're off-duty kind of stuff when they want to look like soldiers. All sitting in there listening to this guy talking about how awesome it is if you're lucky enough to get to murder somebody, basically. And I can't remember his name. I had it written down for another show, and I think it was one of the technical difficulty ones, so we just didn't really get to it. We touched on it, but yeah, that's the kind of people they have. That's the kind of training they have.
And see, it's not, this is America. It's not just enough for the bloodlust, for the racism. There's also, it's about the money. If it didn't pay what it pays these days, it wouldn't be this prevalent. It's like anything else. If it's everywhere, it's because it's working, whether you agree with it or not. So again, America, fuck yeah, make a shitload of money training people to kill. Neither one should be happening, but it is.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It seems so weird. I keep hitting the mute button, sorry. It seems so weird that they're just so terrified of cameras, and they're the most righteous heroes that never do wrong. Even when they murder somebody unarmed is justified. That's how awesome they are.
Well, there was one body cam footage that did come out.
It was like 10 or 20 seconds, wasn't it?
And you don't really see a whole lot. It's basically on the wrong side of the entire event where everything happened.
That was intentional.
Well, that's the one that came out. I can't say if that was on purpose or that's
20
just all they
seconds
got,
or 30 seconds. It was 10 to 30 seconds long, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all they released. To the family, they gave them a couple more minutes. But they edited. How are you going to edit body cam footage to prove that you're not guilty? And they're like, and this was their excuse a few weeks ago. Like, it happens so fast, the people won't know what they're seeing, so we can't just give it to them or they'll misunderstand it. They'll think the cops are guilty.
Well, yeah.
You showing us multiple video from different angles of the same thing happening. And we can't come to our own conclusions. We're too stupid. We need a cop and a bunch of PR people to come in and get together and show us clips in a certain order and edit out a bunch of stuff and tell us this is what we're seeing. Nah, just give us the footage. I mean, it's our right. It's our freedom of information right. They work for us. You go work at McDonald's and somebody's spitting in the burgers and they're going to run the cameras back and you be like, nope. We're going to show you 20 seconds before these people came in. We're not going to show you this, and then we're going to edit some of it out. But trust us, nobody spit in the burgers. Are they going to let that slide?
Well, the one piece I did see that was, I believe, released to a network affiliate close by. Looks like, okay, I haven't seen this. Really don't know much about it. And the opening still of this video, the first thing you see is Kevlar and a Kevlar helmet, and it says police. And then the next thing you see as the video starts is the butt of a semi-automatic rifle. Then you can tell that they're riding open air in the back of one of these, these half tons that the cops have equipped with the side ramps and stuff like that. So this is an assault team to deliver a warrant. Okay, yeah, I'm familiar with this. And, that's it. They pull up to the house. There's like 8 or 10 of them. Almost all of them have long weapons. And then it starts, Gets in the car, tries to leave. And I'm thinking, okay, so there's 10 of you here, and your truck is right there. You don't have to get in any doors. You just grab on and away you go. You have radios. Where exactly is this guy going to get to? Why does he have to be stopped at all costs right here? Because you guys want to. That's the only reason.
Man, I seen an amazing video. It was all these, I don't know where it was, maybe in Florida, I believe. And it was this dude. He's driving in a cop car when the video starts, and the cops are chasing him. And he goes off into some forest area off the road, and all the cops jump out. He's sitting in the car. You can't really see the car. You see the back of the cop car he was in. So he already had a stolen cop car. They come with shields. They're going to pin the doors in. You hear them. There's all body cam footage. So they go up to the doors, and they're trying to pin the doors in, and they're sending these more cops. Somehow he gets out of that. I don't even know how. And he runs and jumps into another police truck, a black one, and takes off. And one of the cops, he was like, "You got to be kidding me." And then you're hearing on their radios, they're like, "That's a SWAT truck." And he's like, is there weapons in the front seat? And they're like, "Oh, yeah, probably." And they're like, "Oh, man." So he's on 2 cop cars he stole. They had guns aimed at him. He ran through cops. You know what I mean? He made them jump out the way.
Yep.
And you know what? He didn't, at the end, he was really mentally ill, maybe on drugs, I don't know. But he was just saying some random kind of stuff, sound like a rap song. And then they put him in the police car. He's like, "Bye, I'm going to jail." I was like, wow. But he was a black dude, and he lived through that. And a lot of people be like, "Oh, those cops are something." No, those cops are just doing what they're supposed to do. Then we're doing excessive stuff, trying to murder people. They don't need to be commended. They just need to say, "Oh, if you don't do that and you murder somebody unarmed, that's not a threat to you. Who cares if he has guns in the front seat? He's not using them. Don't kill him. That's your fault he stole 2 police cars." I'd fire them cops that lost them cars immediately. For real. If you're going to get a SWAT truck taken from you, whoever didn't pull them keys out, you're fired. And the first cop car, same thing.
Yeah, that's totally reasonable.
So yeah, I mean, it was really good because I was really nervous through that video, like they're gonna murder this dude, but they didn't. So they didn't have to murder so many other people. Man, just step out the way when someone's driving. One of the cops was on the car on one of these videos. It's like, come on. There's a whole lot of body cam footage all put together. But yeah, he didn't die, and that was good. But so many people don't have to die. These pigs are just trigger happy, dude. They want to kill. They see this guy talking about the great sex they're going to have and how it makes them feel like the best they've ever felt, and they feel so powerful and amazing. Of course you're going to want to go murder people. If this is your job, sends you to hear a speaker talking about how great it is to murder people, you'd be like, "Oh, I can't wait." And they'll call me a hero.
Ridiculous.
That's the training these fools get, man. Yeah, when I put Blue Lives Matter up on Twitter today or yesterday or whatever, pay attention to the GIF. Duh. People was like, "Why'd you put Blue Lives Matter?" Somebody said your account get hacked. It's got a picture of Trady throwing up Crips at the bottom.
Yep.
And it says ACAB after it. I was just saying, like, there's no such thing as a blue life. So if I think Crips lives matter, then there you go.
And what platform did you put that up on?
Might have been Twitter. I'm sure it was Twitter.
See, now Twitter,
Instagram too.
Now Twitter, you have to click every image to get it to load because there's too much bandwidth.
Oh, really? Maybe that's why. Maybe they didn't see the GIF because I just took a GIF off Twitter. It was Trey D throwing up. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to click it to see it now.
Oh, now I see why they thought that. Like, why did you put that? There's no context if you don't have the picture.
Yeah, it's too much effort to click,
Now I get why I got these 3 DMs about this. Okay.
People are lazy.
Oh man, the wax and the shrooms kicking in. Everything's feeling nice. I need more caffeine here. Okay. So yeah, these pigs they're trained. They're trained by IDF. They're trained by terrible people. People like Eric Prince. People like this guy. I can't remember his name.
For years, for decades, the NYPD has an office in Tel Aviv.
Oh.
Why? Why? Why?
Why not? Why ask why?
Yeah.
Oh, here's another thing. Here's another thing. Speaking of killing and cops, I just took an energy drink and it's all making me feel The LAPD is treating the citizens. I think they just got some grant to a what they call a use of force simulator. So they're going to hand you a fake gun, I guess, and put you in some little booth that has pictures or pop-up things or video or whatever they're going to do. Maybe it's VR, I don't know. And the goal is to get you to kill the quote-unquote bad guy who wasn't a threat and say, oh, I didn't know. His wallet looks so much like a gun. These police have it so hard. And these are, and mind you, these are citizens that have never been trained like these police have. They haven't had expertise, firearm handle, none of that. So they're just random people, and they're going to be like, oh, yeah, we understand. We get it now. Some will. I would like to just take it and aim it at the cop standing next to me and shoot him. And be like, I saw a thug. I was trying to get rid of him before he had a gun. I mean, it's just a light thing or something, right? But they probably tackle you and arrest you for assault or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think everyone should just take that gun and shoot whatever cops are around with it. If it's a paintball gun, whatever it is, just hit them. You trying to eliminate a threat. That's the use of force simulator. We should have people thinking that when the cops are out of line and the other cops ain't going to stop them, community stops them by any and all means necessary. If they got to be laid out in the street or they got to be detained or whatever, but, it's got to become a regular thing. Like the first few times it's going to be hectic and it's going to be SWAT teams, it's going to be a war. But if everyone just keep doing it everywhere, all through the United States, these cops aren't going to have a chance. They're going to have to rethink what they're doing. We're going to have to stop treating people like crap. We're going to have to stop brutalizing people. We're going to have to stop beating up handcuffed women. We're going to have to stop murdering people for trying to get away. This sucks. We're not going to be able to go home and have that great murder sex with our wives, who we beat, by the way. 40% of us, that's what they say, right?
Well, then maybe a couple of those wives will help him out with the murder part of the sex. Which is something that happens a hell of a lot more than you hear about as well. But I mean, you talk about the people overruling authority in their neighborhood. I did see that happen in, I believe it was England this past week, when Her Majesty's immigrant police, the equivalent of ICE in the UK, tried to take a few people away on a street. There were literally
I saw that video. Yeah,
thousands of people.
Yeah,
shoulder to shoulder, everywhere.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, and those cops let them go. The people applauded the cops, and that's that.
I didn't see it like that. I thought the people applauded them winning and the cops leaving.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Never applaud the cops, people. Applaud the beating the
no,
cops.
they made the right choice, so people applauded the result.
There you go. Applaud the victory. Don't applaud the pigs.
Yep. They were smart enough that time to do the right thing.
You know how they say it. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
But I mean, this is the thing. That's normally how it's always been in Britain. I'm thinking in the U.S., how many cities would the cops have backed off compared to how many cities would they have just closed their vehicle up and called for backup?
Yeah, escalated.
Helicopters,
gas, rubber bullets,
yep,
loudspeakers, LRADs, everything you can imagine.
because all of a sudden it's Mogadishu. That's what they'd make it into.
It's just so dumb, man. I remember, I think I shot it on, I released it, I don't know. This dude just wouldn't leave a house. I think he was getting evicted or somebody didn't want him to stay and he was staying, and it was like some kind of, like a personal dispute. They had like the whole LAPD surrounding his house, helicopters all over the place. Come out with your hands up now. I'm like, man, couldn't they be like, look, we're going to have to deal with this in a civil way, like, sue him or do something or file papers or whatever. Give him 30 days. I don't know. And if you give him 30 days, give him 30 more. It's rough right now. This was during the virus.
But it's an op.
But he was black.
Ah.
So I don't know. That might have been a factor. I'm just assuming.
Speculating?
Yeah. Somebody told me the other day black cops never kill black people. I said, the hell they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to be like, man, when you get pulled over by cops, do you be hoping the cop's a black dude? He goes, nah, black cops are the worst. I'm like, then why are you going to say what you just said?
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Because what people don't understand is when a cop is being nice to you, it's for a reason.
Yep.
It's to gather information or something. There's something to it. Or to get you to consent to a search or something. Or whatever. Confess by accident. Tell on somebody. There's no reason for a cop to be nice to you. There's no reason for a cop to talk to you. Be like, you pulled me over. Don't ask what you can say what you pulled me over for, but they're going to say, what do you think I did? And then people tell them, oh, because I did this. Don't say none of that. They're recording you. You admitting guilt. Just be like, I don't know. Give me my thing, let me go, or don't. It's on you. You got to give me information. Where are you coming from? Where are you going to? Let me see. Yeah. Can I look through your car? No, you don't got to do none of that. But every single day, I see people giving up their rights. Looking terrified, and they don't even have anything on them. Why should a person feel horrified and look scared when the cops are pulling them over if they have nothing illegal on them? If they maybe ran a stop sign or something? That doesn't seem right, man. That doesn't seem how people should have to live. That's stress. That's time off your life from all that stress.
Yep.
You see, in here, I don't know how it is in Canada, man, but I know here, if a cop's on the street, they be driving slow, all the cars trying to stay behind them. Everyone trying to just but not look like it. People be acting weird. They get behind them, people, because they know that's what they do. They start following someone. They know eventually they're going to be nervous and do something. I'll pass them up, man. If my car's legit and I got tags, I've had situations where I couldn't, but I get up off that street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be around them. I'd go out the way to get away. But if I see them and my stuff's legit, I'm going to pass them up. And you know what they're going to see if they look toward my window? A big middle finger aimed at them. And they know I got cameras all over the place. That's why they a little bit nervous messing with me or messing with people when I'm around. If they don't like if they know I'm on the block, they're not coming around. Homies will tell me it's so cool when you around, man, because the cops won't mess with nobody. We don't get fucked with by the police when you're here. They won't even come on the block. They'll pass by and just keep going. That should tell you something right there. They're terrified of the cameras. They don't want to be filmed doing what they do every day. Because they have to act. They have to pretend to not be savages when the lens is on them.
There's responsibility.
Yeah, accountability. All those abilities.
They're not into them.
Yeah, cops hate abilities.
They make the job harder.
When you got to respect people and not
Follow
violate
rules.
human rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just so rough.
Well, yeah, it's not why we're here. We're not here to follow rules. We're here to make rules. And only we know what they are, and they change any fucking time we want. So, shut up.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess we need to move on. I mean, it's a staple of this show is talking shit about the police and what they did the last few days since we've been back.
Yeah.
Each week, because it's tragic and it shouldn't happen. And we shouldn't even have to do this. We should be like, what about the police? They're out there doing their job.
Well, that's the thing, though.
They just got a serial killer removed from society, and they're going to rehabilitate him in some kind of place away that's not a horrible, rat-infested, sick place full of people that they treat like animals or worse than animals in some cases. Have no rights. That's stupid. You'll take the people, and in a better society, this wouldn't even be like this, man. Raise your children right. Stop the religion and racism and nationalism and all the garbage you feed them. Which brings us to our next topic, I think, if you want to talk about the... I'm going to say this in quotes, in the big quotes, because it's bullshit. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict where they're trading blows back and forth. It's a genocide. It's an apartheid. It's been an apartheid. It's been a slow genocide. It's been a land grab. It's been a whole lot of things, but you have a white colony in the Middle East colonizing a territory, taking over more and more and more and more of these people's land, and they're supported by these monster superpowers. And if you're critical of them, they have a little thing they say you're anti-Semitic or you're a bigot because you're critical of a state, a nation, you know what I mean?
How many people in the American public are aware of how close to going to prison Benjamin Netanyahu is?
Everyone knows that. Well, I mean, I assume on all those corruption charges and everything else, yeah. That's common knowledge.
This is the hallmarks of a very confident and full of himself fascist. This is like if going out in flames. This is creating another one-sided war to try and stay in power. That's all this comes down to. There's no other reason this is happening. It's amazing to me. Well, I shouldn't be amazed. There's lots of precedent. But I mean, it was 3 weeks before there was any response out of Gaza. The equivalents of the Israeli Sturmabteilung, the SA, the settlers were armed and injuring and killing innocent Palestinians with the support of the Ordnungspolizei.
Civilians with children, families in their households, people on the streets living their lives, going back and forth to whatever they're trying to do and live. That's who they were beating on. That's who they were driving cars through and attacking and lighting on fire and everything else. Yeah, it was some straight Nazi stuff.
What is happening right now in East Jerusalem is the equivalent of what happened in German cities, in Warsaw, in a lot of cities in Europe during the Second World War. It's the exact same
broken
thing.
Glass.
It is the Israeli Kristallnacht. It is. And it's happening in real time. That went on for 3 weeks with them entering Al-Aqsa Mosque at the end of Ramadan.
Yeah.
With flashbangs and pissing and shitting and wrecking stuff. Can you imagine what happens when one synagogue somewhere gets vandalized? Yeah. This is pretty close to people fucking up the Vatican City. It's pretty close for, on the scale. And that would just be cool? Like, this is just ridiculous. The provocation. And like I said, the only reason they're pushing this hard, they've never done this before to the Al-Aqsa compound. They've threatened it numerous times. And they've tried to dig under it with archaeological claims and all this kind of stuff. But they've never done this like this before. Why? Because the fascist in charge is scared he's done. That's why this is happening. And it's ridiculous.
So terrible and tragic. And so many people. There's over 30 children dead, I think.
60.
Oh, it went up from when I heard about it. And then the official Twitter of Israel just starts dropping bomb emojis up and down, like hundreds of them.
Yep.
And then they're like, "That's how many bombs the Palestinians drop." Why don't you show the casualties? How many people are dead and injured? Let's play that game, not the bomb game. Because I don't think they have giant bomb emojis.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing that's ridiculous, and it's not new, and it makes me sick, this thing about any sort of false equivalency. Because if you want to look at what's happening in rockets coming from Gaza, you're talking something that can be carried by 2 people. It's put in a tube or on a ramp. It has no guidance. It has no internal power. It has a solid booster motor. And that decides how far it goes.
Yeah, there is no cross your fingers, hope it hits something, a valuable target if you're lucky.
And once it's off the ramp, you can't decide where it goes. It does. And to compare that with what Israel has, which never mind the delivery system, which is most times an F-16, they have laser-guided precision munitions. They have satellite navigation projectiles. They have armor-piercing, heat-seeking projectiles. They have all kinds of toys like this that aren't packed with gunpowder and dynamite. They're packed with high explosives or frag warheads or what have you. We've already seen pictures of Israel again using banned white phosphorus. So if you think
why would you stop if no one ever does anything about it?
But I mean, we're talking about one country that breaks Geneva Convention on a daily basis.
You know they have nukes, right, Glenn?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
That's part of the reason they get away with this for so long. But you
They
have
asked
one
Bibi
country.
a long time ago, does Israel have nuclear weapons officially? And he just kind of giggled and wouldn't answer the question.
No, they don't have to. You know, that's the
I
other.
mean,
You
where are
want to
these
talk about?
inspectors? Let's get them in there.
No, you see, this is the grand hook of all these international agreements. If you don't become signatory to the deal, you don't have to abide by it. It's just no, we're not playing. Oh, okay. That's how that shit works. But that's okay. They're Israel.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This has been going on my whole life and maybe a few decades before that. These occupiers have been on this land, taking it more and more, attacking, killing, brutalizing.
Well,
Because
I
some
mean,
old 3,000-year-old, 2,000-year-old book says the land belonged to you originally. God promised you this land.
but see, that's not really true either. I mean, this is part of the fable of Israel. Because just today, I saw video footage of ultra Orthodox Jews in New York City standing with protesters calling for an end to this incursion. And they flat out say, look, you know, nobody's more Jewish than we are. And Israel should not exist. Because according to
Yeah.
their scripture, there is no Jewish homeland until the big event. And this ain't it. And they don't agree with, you know, treating other people like shit.
Yeah, they're in Israel too. They're here. They're in Israel. The authentic, real, I guess Hasidic or whatever Jews that ain't with the genocide and apartheid.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're over there too. I've seen videos of protests all over. It's not like a one-off in New York or something. There's a whole. I don't know if it's a branch of, you know what I mean, like a different spin-off of the religion or the same exact religion or whatever. Because, like, you know how it is with, like, Christianity, they have all these different sects of it or
Well,
denominations or whatever. I think Judaism is pretty much, and Islam, they have different sects and stuff, but they believe more along the same lines. They don't just all go wacky. They got some wacky outcast ones, but I think they pretty much.
the way I look at it is I look at the ultra Orthodox Jewish spokespeople as being the equivalent in Christianity to the Quakers. Like the Quakers actually put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah. I got you.
They are 1,000% Christian. They are nonviolent. They are non-discriminatory. You know, just this is how we want to live. Be cool.
Yeah.
You know. But I mean, it's just so ridiculous in the United States where all the media is wall to wall. Oh, the Palestinian rocket fire. How come nobody hears about these guys in your own backyard?
Yeah, Biden, I wonder who he's going to support. Oh, he already told us. He supports Israel. He supports genocide. He supports apartheid. No big mystery there. I could have guessed
Well,
that.
I saw a tweet today. I was going to save it, but of course I didn't, so I could credit who relayed the information. But he said, guess who the all-time number one politician for contributions from the state of Israel or their organizations is in Washington? All-time number one. Who do you think it is? Joe
Is
Biden.
it Biden? Yeah.
Joe Biden. Number two, Hillary Clinton. So,
Yeah,
you
I'm sure
know,
they're all getting it. It's just they probably got more I'm sure they're
Oh
paying
yeah.
off a lot of our politicians, maybe most of our politicians. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. We support all these horrible, horrible nations that are terrorists. I mean, but so is the United States here. So I guess, birds of a feather flock together. We'll say it again.
Well, I mean, Biden just, had to, I don't know, kind of have an energy drink and wake up for a few minutes. He just had to make sure Israel got what? Another $785 million of military aid, quote unquote. And all that is a contract for Boeing and Raytheon. That's about it.
Yep.
What is this, economic stimulus, or what
I
is
was reading
this?
I was reading this report because nobody loves Trump like the Democrats. He's their boogeyman, right? They're the reason he's still. I mean, he's insignificant, but they keep him relevant. Every day on all the liberal shows, they're talking about Trump did this, Trump did it, Trump's sons did this, Trump's daughter did this, Trump's gonna go to prison. Ha ha ha. Anyway, so they go on and on about it, but there was a story I was reading that said when Biden got elected, and it was official, a few days after, Trump was trying to pull troops back from around the world, like from Germany, from Afghanistan, from Iraq, from everywhere, just to be a quote unquote jerk face. Now, the media that was saying this, I believe it might have been CNN, and it was a Democratic, liberal kind of more liberal news thing. It wasn't like Fox or OAN or whatever. They're making it sound like it was the worst thing. Like, can you believe he did that? He was trying to just keep us so unsafe, and I'm so glad it didn't happen. You know what I mean? That would have been the best thing he could have done. Don't matter why he did it. If it was for all the wrong reasons, it would have been so awesome. Think about that. Think about all the people around the world have been like, wow, we got these oppressive occupiers out of here for once, finally. It could have been beautiful.
But
nope.
It's not following the program.
Yeah, you got to trust the plan.
There we go. Got it in. But as far as what is happening right now in Gaza, in the West Bank, in Jerusalem, in Sheikh Jarrah, I don't know, man. I hate to be a broken record or anything, but I mean, if you change the language from Hebrew to German, I really don't see a difference at all. And the other thing too, not only about the Hasidic Jewish population of the U.S. being fundamentally against the state of Israel, but also how not nearly enough is said about who these armed settlers are. And
Eastern Europeans, Americans.
Well, the thing that is just not explained much in the American media is that an awful lot of these illegal settlements on Palestinian land are completely deserted for 6 months or more of the year. And in that time, they are patrolled by the Israeli army to keep them graffiti free and whatever. They're only occupied like 6 months a year because that's when all the right of return freeloaders go back over to Israel. And the vast majority of them come from Brooklyn.
Really?
And
Specifically Brooklyn? I didn't know that.
Yes. Tens of thousands of them.
Wow, I would have guessed, like I said, from United States or Europe, but I didn't know it was that specific.
So, I mean, a lot of these settlers that are behaving like the SA against people who have lived there for centuries are just doing this as a hobby. And then they'll probably be allowed to get on a plane and leave Israel, fly back to the U.S., no problem.
Man,
And it's not like this isn't known. This is all traceable. It's all documentable. It's obvious. It's just a matter of getting the information and having somebody publicize it. And there's just no appetite in the United States to expose Israel. I guess that's the simplest way I can say it.
the problem is you got actual anti-Semitic people that cross the line on some of these issues. You know what I mean?
That is true.
Like, so you'll have these like, I've seen straight up right wing Nazis that want to support Israel, of course, right?
Yeah.
But they hate Jewish people. I just don't understand how that works. I mean, I know why, but I don't. I just don't get it. I guess that's the whitest. They go with whatever is the whitest, and they're going to support it.
Well, I don't know. It's you have to kind of make metaphors. It's like anybody who thinks that ISIS represents all Muslims, well, Zionism represents all Jews the same way. Minimal, but very noisily, and they know how to get what they want. I mean, take a look at ISIS. Like, they came out of nowhere. They had nothing. They never had a pile of money behind them. And look how far they got in a pretty short time. And it took a big piece of the so-called first world to get rid of them, for the most part.
Yeah.
So,
they had
I
some
mean,
money, though. They had some rich people. Like, Bin Laden was pretty rich.
yeah, but Bin Laden ain't the United States government.
Oh, I see what you're saying, comparatively speaking. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Not to mention they were selling drugs and robbing everything under the sun.
So, I mean,
ISIS was a gang. It was a criminal terrorist gang. I mean, you know what I mean?
What do you think the Likud party is?
Yeah, I'm just saying. But I mean, you have to look at it like, people be like, oh, ISIS is Muslims. Yeah, they're extremist Muslims, just like the Klan is Christians.
Yep.
A lot of Christians
Exactly.
might believe the same things as the Klan, but they're not going to say, yeah, we're down with them. Not all the same things, but a lot of them. I mean, it's their religion, right?
Yep.
You can't get away from some things in your religion. Now, a lot of people, Muslim, Christian, Jew, whatever, will say, hey, I'm not down with that part of my religion. I think I'm a little bit moral than my supposed God on these things, but I'll just say I'm cool with the rest of it and take the lovey-dovey, happy, love your neighbor, do no harm kind of stuff, and everything else I'll just kind of ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist. And that's great. That's the best kind of religious people you can have. Because a fundamentalist who go straight by the books, whew, that's terrible. That's scary stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. You ever notice there's a bit of I like to see the Venn diagram for the Christian fundamentalists, the one who think that the Old Testament has any application whatsoever on life today, them, and the circle for the constitutional fundamentalists. I bet you it's a circle.
These are the people that say the Old Testament is irrelevant if you bring it up. And then they say, well, homosexuality is an abomination. They take what they want. And I think a lot of them don't even know what's in the Old or New Testament. They don't even know what the book says. They know what they've been told, this verse, this and that. They know the stories, kind of watered down versions of the popular stories. They don't know everything about the book, most of them.
Well, no, that's effort.
I mean, if you study the books, I don't care which religion, if you study the book enough and you're halfway reasonable person who thinks for yourself, you're going to leave the religion. And and Scientologist, if you even are a Scientologist, you're an idiot. You shouldn't even get to read those books. You should already know. Like, this isn't old. This is modern from like what, the 50s or something. Be all the other ones. Maybe Mormonism too. You got no excuses. But yeah, all the rest of them, man. Read your books. Read your religious books. Read them all the way through. Don't pick and choose. Don't flip back and forth. Start at the beginning, go to the end. If you don't understand something, don't ask a preacher. Just read it again until you get what it's saying, what it's actually saying. And then when you see how disgusting it is, realize that you can just live your life much better just caring about other people without all the mumbo jumbo. There's no such thing as magic. Just live your life and be happy and take care of each other. That's that pretty simple, right? I've just solved the world's problems in one show, Glenn. What's next? I think we just got to retire now. This is going to be like The View Up Here. We're done. Bye.
Well, I'm sure the Pope will be happy to hear that.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. Now he knows what's up, too. I mean, even the Pope needs to know the meaning of life. I just gave it to him.
Well, you never know. He might issue a papal bull that you may be coming up for sainthood then, if everything goes well.
I'm gonna ask him that he would give an honorary sainthood to Humpty Hump in my sainthood to Humpty Hump, because he's the one that came up with the slogan "Do what you like" in the song. I just kind of said people should do what they like. Plus, it would just be awesome to see Saint Humpty Hump. Saint Shock G, whatever, but it's got to be Saint Humpty Hump in there too somewhere. That's just awesome.
Yeah, I could see that being brandable for sure.
Yeah.
STH2.
STH2. Do what you like.
There we go.
Oh, man. What?
There you go. You better copyright that before the Vatican does.
Yeah. Hey, do you think Caitlyn Jenner's serious?
Oh, my God.
I'm just wondering. Like, I don't know if this is like a publicity stunt or if it's like she's really thinking, I'm going to go out there and be ridiculous and hate people, my own people. And then everyone's going to vote for me. And I'm going to be powerful. Rah. Because, this reminds me a lot of Trump. Reality TV star that runs for politics, maybe just to get back in the media spotlight. And then in Trump's case, he won. A lot of people said he wasn't trying to win specifically. He just wanted to, whatever happened, but he wanted to get some kind of shows and publicity out of it. I don't think that worked out so good for him. I mean, once you're not a real blatant public Nazi, nobody really want to deal with you except other blatant public Nazis and Candace Owens.
Well, the thing is, though, I mean, just for it to be possible that this premise can be taken as, yeah, okay. I mean, we have Caitlyn Jenner, who, like, I'm not even going to go into the whole thing, but at this point on the journey of Jenner, this is what you choose to do. And align yourself as a hardcore Republican. Do you have a mirror handy? Do you have any recollection of the last decade of your life? And this is what you're going to do for obviously no other reason than your own ego.
These are the same people the base that Caitlyn Jenner is going for are the same people that would insist on calling her he or him and mock and mock and mock and then say call her Bruce or whatever. You know what I mean? Just whatever. Just whatever to be inflammatory and hateful and disrespectful. And these are the people that you're going to side with. It just doesn't make sense.
No, I agree with that. I agree 100%. It's
that'd be like me running on a platform to make weed illegal and lock people up forever for smoking it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it just seems to me to be the ultimate sellout. I can't think of a situation that's more of just a complete inverse of where you should be. And like you said, the people that she is appealing to want nothing to do with her. A lot of them, especially the ones with money.
They want her to have to go into the men's restroom. Is she cool with that? I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
Did you see that dude from, remember that show Silver Spoons, Ricky Schroeder at Costco? Did you see that video?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that guy?
I don't know. He's been hanging out with Chachi, I guess.
For real?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Like all the has-beens hang out?
Well, you know, the one good thing, it was nice that everybody got reminded again that along with Mike Liddell, Ricky Schroeder donated to get Kyle Rittenhouse out of jail.
Yeah, I mean, he's a white supremacist, straight up. There's no other explanation. Why would you why would you put up a major chunk of money to get a white supremacist murderer out of prison on bail? And then now he's one of those weirdos. And here's the thing. These people are the ones that I think they're just dumb. I think they're really ignorant. Like totally ignorant. They don't want to learn, man. They don't want to know what's what. They want to believe whatever OAN or Newsmax or Fox told them.
Yep.
Because these people could like, think about this. The First Amendment doesn't apply. It's the same. I'm trying to equate this to, you know what I mean? To like the First Amendment doesn't apply in a business. Like they can have a business where they can say you can't say certain things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll put you out because it's a private business. It's the same thing with Costco. If their policy is you have to wear a mask, then you got to wear a mask to go in. And he's one of those, if he's, you know, he's a Trump supporter, isn't he one of those people like, you know, the free market and let the market decide and do all this and that? Businesses have the rights. Well, they have the right to tell people what they can. No shoes, no shirt, no service. Why isn't he walking in barefoot with no shirt on being like, you're stealing my rights? How dare you? I want my Costco membership back. I want to walk around with no shirt on and no shoes and no mask. It's just stupid, man.
My freedoms. DUMBS.
And we've said it before, and these are the same jackasses. I have to be free. Wearing a mask makes me unfree. And then as soon as this is over, they're going to go back to, we need to pass laws to make it so people can't wear masks in public. You know, what about your freedom to wear a mask if you choose to? Because you know they're trying to pass anti-mask laws for protests all over the place just before the virus. They had passed some in many places already.
Yep.
I think I even tweeted once the virus started, like, how are those anti-mask laws working out for you? I was happy when we were allowed to wear masks all over the country. It brought freedom back to people who wanted to do so when they protest and keep somewhat, you know, anonymous. In the actual sense of the word, the lowercase anonymous.
The one technology field that got fucked by the pandemic is the facial recognition field.
Yes. And I don't care. Somebody's going to care eventually, and they'll keep it. You'll kick it back up.
Oh, yeah.
It's not dead, you know?
Oh, no. No,
But yeah,
anything to steal data doesn't die anymore. It just either gets put away for a while and then updated and put back in, or we sell it to
rebranded.
somebody. Yeah. Or we'll sell it to another nation and they can use it on their people for a while because we moved past that, you know? Like, whatever. Hand-me-down metadata tools.
I think it's a different world now with all these social media companies that everybody can get connected through. You know what I mean? It's bad in a lot of ways, but I mean, as far as, you know, the hate that gets spread and the misinformation. But in a lot of ways, you have a lot more people that are supportive of things like no genocide, no apartheid, no police brutality, you know, in favor of human rights. And they can see in real time tragic things going on. They can connect with other people around the world. So it's not like I'm here in the United States and all the people in the United States are with me. And it's, you know, I could talk to somebody in India. I could talk to somebody in, the Modi variant, the Modi variant. Have you heard about that? Sorry, I just said India and I went back. There was I think it was I believe it was a doctor or a scientist said she's going, in India, said she's naming the quote unquote Indian strain or Indian variant the Modi strain because he's the one most responsible for its spread.
She's got pretty big balls to say that inside India to the world.
You should see the replies she was getting. I retweeted it. You can look it up. Yeah, she's getting a lot of replies in various languages, and a lot of them aren't too nice. Those people love Modi.
Well,
fascists love fascists. I don't know why.
Exactly. That's what it is. And I mean, if you've been on Twitter in the last 10 days, you've seen the explosion of Hindu bots. India stands with Israel. These guys have flooded Twitter with that shit. They're all bots.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, you know, I've talked about it a lot. The IDU, the International Democratic Union, which is political parties from every country in the world belong to this, but they're usually only a certain type of party, including the Republicans, the Conservatives in Canada, the Conservatives in Britain. So Johnson and Bolsonaro in Brazil, Modi in India, Orban in Hungary, Duterte in the Philippines. It's
the list goes on.
Yeah, they're all the same. They're all fuck you leaders. All of them.
Fascists.
Yep. So of course they're going to stick together on global platforms.
Authoritarian fascist scum. You know what I pretty much be looking at every single show on my wall behind the computer screen is a Criminal Minded album with Scott LaRock, KRS-One on the cover, the full record, 12-inch. And it's signed by KRS-One, and he signed it for Scott LaRock too. I thought that shit was awesome. The mushrooms are kicking in, so I'm talking about what I'm looking at. That was totally off the wall. I just realized how off the wall. I was like, why are you saying this? Now I'm talking to myself on the mic. That's pretty cool.
It's an insight you had.
Yeah.
Well, that may be a trigger. Maybe it's time to do sponsors.
You are correct. Let's cue up the music, the sponsor music. I gotta pull it down here. I think that's pretty good, maybe. Go
Little
on,
lower.
Glenn.
Little lower.
Little lower.
I didn't hear it go down at all.
Really?
There, now it did.
Oh, you're on a delay, probably.
No, we don't seem to have much delay with the mics.
I'm perfect. I got no delay. Watch this.
People's Radio United.
Like as soon as I hit it, it's in. I hear it.
Huh?
I said, watch this. Like you're gonna hear it the same as me. But yeah.
If you say so.
Yeah, I'm on a whole nother schedule right now in reality than you are, Glenn.
Well, today's sponsor is surprisingly good, very good crop of BC Big Bud.
Wow. You know what mine is? What did I tell you earlier it was?
Cherry something.
Cherry pie gelato.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. Thank you for reminding me. And then
That's it.
I got like 6 or 8 different kinds of wax. I posted pictures online. Go look. I don't remember what they all are. And then lovely shroom tea. It's lemonade tea with shrooms. Awesome. I highly recommend it if you ever get some.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. There you have it. Is there anything we're missing out that we should have went over? Like this that's immediate that we can't wait? Oh yeah, to all the people listening on Twitch, we're not going to be on Twitch anymore, so you probably don't hear me saying this right now.
For now.
For now, yeah, we're going to work it out. I'm just saying I said it earlier, but you might have just tuned in, so yeah. That's 3 whole people. We had a huge audience on Twitch.
Oh,
so,
well.
yeah. 3 people are really might not get this message, and I'm worried about them. Well, actually, one of them got it because he's in the chat here.
There you
At
go.
least there's the 2 people we really need to get hold of somehow. Oh, so yeah, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you, Glenn. If that's that, then we can just end the show. That's it.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna end it then. I was looking for the Twitch.